Today is International Youth Day, 2020 International Youth Day. SICA is committed to celebrate International Youth Day, and we want to try. We senior chefs who are there in this panel would like to share our experiences and area-specific topics which you people have, and enlighten the students. What are the opportunities way forward after COVID? Like, that is what we are all here for. And SICA is committed to mentor and to groom all the young chefs to the right direction, and so that they can come up very well in their careers. And there are so much of opportunities, so much of avenues, so much of this thing where most of them are not aware. To create awareness, we thought we will utilize this International Youth Day and celebrate this entire event with this kind of knowledge sharing and with all your chefs. Before going into it, like, I would like to share a few words about SICA. SICA, South India Chefs Association, is a fraternity of culinary professionals representing the finest hotels, restaurants, and culinary institutions in South India. And SICA was founded in 1998 in Chennai with the chefs from reputed hotels. It is almost 20 years. We have 20 years plus. We are traveling now, and the founding fathers, the founding chefs. There were only 8 or 9 chefs together. They were together started SICA, and I would like to mention their names. The founding chefs of SICA: O.P. Kantwal from ITC, Chef Damu, who is there with us now, who is now the president, SICA president, as well as he was the founding father as well for SICA, and Chef Soundararajan, Chef Manogar. Chef Soundararajan, you are all AFCA, as well as the corporate chef of Club Mahindra Holiday Resorts. And the Chef Manogar, who was a corporate chef, now retired, and he's doing consultancy. And he was with Residency Group of Hotels. Chef Kannan, who was with Chef Kannan, is there on the panel. He's a young chef chief coordinator for us of SICA, and he's there with us. And Chef Nadarajan, who was the ex corporate chef of Taj. And then Chef Vijay Nagpal, who was the corporate chef of ITC. Now I think he's retired recently. And Chef Shanmugam, who was senior most chef and master chef with the Residency Group of Hotels, and Chef Babu. Am I right? Chef Babu, correct? Is there anybody whom I am missing? Because of them, we are all here. It is a nice, vibrating association where we are non-political and voluntary and non-profitable body of culinary professionals with varied backgrounds and specifications. SICA is always affiliated with IFCA as a member. IFCA cannot take members directly, so the regional bodies will have the membership base, and we are affiliated with IFCA, and the IFCA is affiliated with WAX. This is a small information which I would like to share with you all the young chefs and the students who are there with us now. And SICA is a vibrating association where everybody can join and try to share their knowledge and experiences and come up in life. And SICA is a platform where every young chef, we would like to invite them to utilize this platform for them to get connected and do networking with other colleague chefs in the industry, basically senior, junior, whomsoever it is might be. And now I request Chef Damu to give his welcome speech for this entire webinar.
Hey, before that, actually, before starting this, I want to add to this. Chef Giri was there. Chef Giri, myself, and O.P. Kantwal started this in the year 1994.
Fantastic.
And this junction, I have to thank Mr. Joseph Graham, who is now at Dubai. He's working for the Trident Hotels.
Okay.
He is a person who helped us to took out to the registrar office in the High Court. We registered this organization in 1994. The South Indian Culinary Association we registered.
Yes, Chef. Yes.
After that, only all the members have joined and then become so big now. I'm very happy. Anyway, I have a lovely evening to all of you. It's really quite interesting today to see International Youth Day 2020. And the webinar topic is going to be opportunities for the youth, young chefs, you can say. So now actually the budding chefs require a lot of experiences, a lot of innovation, a lot of creativity. More than anything, a lot of learning is required actually. So that once you are willing to learn, definitely now you can grow very faster. So the concept is very good actually. The latest trend and the concept they're going to give, what do you call it, this webinar topic. The concept is going to be like food stylist, food photography, reheat and serve. This is the concept the panel is going to talk about it. I really feel very happy to invite the panel members, Chef Kasi, Chef Sitaraman, Chef Rajmogan, Chef Uma Shankar, Chef Tirlok, Chef Akshay, and this juncture, I also like to take the opportunity to invite Chef Kannan too. And my personal thanks to Mr. Parthiban, as well as Synergy people who are really organized this webinar. Really, this has been very quite longing actually from South Indian Chef Association. So the really it has come true now. And only request for all the viewers who are viewing this webinar.
Ramu has spoken about, has introduced the topics. Like I think we will now start with Chef Kashi Vishwanathan, who is one of the senior most chefs who is there in the panel. And Chef Kashi Vishwanathan, I would like to give some few information about him. He has 25 years of experience in the hotel industry as a chef, executive chef, and culinary journey. And he is now director, food and beverage, and the chef of Atria Hotel Bengaluru, Radisson Atria Hotel Bengaluru. And he has worked in India as well as abroad, and he has worked with a lot of Michelin star chefs. And he was part of the team which catered to Bill Clinton, Brunei Sultan, Jordan Kuhn, Reina, and other many international dignitaries when he was there in Burj Al Arab, Dubai. And he has done a lot of food promotions in Sri Lanka, Iran, Bahrain, Singapore, Seoul, Cairo, and Dubai. And Chef Kasi is an Indian food ambassador for Seoul, basically. And he has developed a lot of concepts and opened new restaurants. And he's a very vibrating chef who is going to share his knowledge on the topic food truck concept. Like food truck concept is still not very vibrant in India, and there's an opportunity and a lot of scope in this aspect. And I request Chef Kasi to just start this.
Thank you, Chef Sitaram, for the introduction. A very, very good evening to all the viewers here today. What a day, World Youth Day. And we are going to address this to the next generation who are going to take our profession. It gives me an immense pleasure by talking to them today. Thank you for this opportunity, Sika, and I'm very happy to be part of this. Well, getting into the subject straight away, the food truck. The food truck here in India is slowly getting established, especially cities like Bangalore, here in Karnataka. We do have this concept which have been driven by hotels, standalones also are doing this business. The concept here is just basically you are setting up a kitchen in a truck, inside a truck, and having a tailored menu and dishing out in various places across the city. It's not that you're going to get stationed in one place and do your business every day. You can probably go down to different the tech parks, different locations, and choose your business venue on a daily basis. Like, well, this also requires a lot of approvals from the government. You all have to really take the approvals from the food body of the concerned state, and then you should also have all the FSSAI norms in place. The food safety, hygiene, sanitation, everything has to be in place. I'm sure this concept will definitely give a good pickup in the country. Why? Because nowadays the general public, the civilians, wants to see how the food is being prepared in front of the eyes. So here you're finishing off your food in the truck in front of the eyes, and they know what is what and who is handling and who is cooking the food. So you will have to really be very cautious while getting into it. Especially like it starts from choosing the menu to dishing out the food in that truck. It really needs a special care and skill sets. It's not like the kitchen is wide or big where you can actually do things in the way how you want it. But then here you need to customize and keep your kitchen planning pakka as per the menu, and then dish out those stuffs. I'm sure this concept will definitely give good returns also, because it's cash and carry. The thing here is like, how much you have invested, and at the end of the day, if you go and park yourself in the right places, then you're going to get assured that you're going to take back that money at the end of the day. And this is definitely will be viable, because the expense wise, if you see, it's not big requirement here. You just need a small truck. Even a 407 truck can also be modified as per your requirements and menu. Especially menu needs to be really looked upon, should be in a very handy menu, and then dish it out. This will definitely give you an earning for sure. And then I mean, you all can have this as an option, especially during this part of the time where the COVID is ruling the nation, the globe, So don't get panic, and also don't let the fear to rule your mind. Let the mind rule the fear. You control the fear. Don't let fear to control you. And be calm and be focused on what you're going to do. And I'm sure this concept will definitely do well. You would have seen those times little unorganized people who are coming in trucks and doing the food and giving, but this is in a very, very organized. Maybe I can call it as a very well organized and well equipped, with all license obtained and driven food establishments in a truck. So it's a lovely concept. Just try and get into it and see how best you can reap the benefit. And yeah, all the very best. That's all. I mean, that's about the food truck concept here. Thank you. Chef Sitaram?
Chef, unmute.
Yeah.
Sorry. Chef, thank you. I think some information you have given, and I would like to have one or two questions for you, Chef. See, what is the difference between a restaurant in a particular place, in a house or in a building, or with a truck? What is the difference? What is going to be the difference?
Basically, you're on wheels. You don't have to really depend on one particular area to do this business. If you feel that every Mondays you want to get into one place and do that business, you can do that. You're on wheels. You can move around wherever you wanted to, where the crowds are there, or you think that there's a tech park there, and if you expect some good number of people coming out from there, probably you can go and park your truck there. Maybe a challenge here is like you need to keep your police people as a friend. Yeah, wherever you go, you need to take care of them also. These are small little challenges or hurdles, I'll call it as. But then you need to face it, even if you are in one place. They always come down there also. So the best part of this food truck is like you can cover up the city, on day wise, or meal wise, or whatever ways and means you want to do. It's absolutely your call.
Okay, so chefs who are masters in specific areas can make these food trucks and sell their food, basically.
Exactly. I mean, see, for example, if I'm good in making the South Indian breakfast, then probably I will only do South Indian breakfast and make my money. I don't have to venture out to something else and wait for people to come in and take my prepared food. Rather I prepare what I'm good in it, and then I go down to an area where it is required. Go down and park. I don't need. I don't have to spend money on my rentals, nor money for my advances, nor electricity, or spend more money for water, and very less manpower is required here, because you are going to tailor the menu as per your individual strength, and you're going to play with that. You will be the owner, the operator, and the one who enjoys the benefit of the profit. I'm sorry, the one who enjoys the profit.
Okay, and I think this kind of food trucks need a commissary, correct? So you need to have a commissary to pack up this food trucks, to load the food truck and go to the areas and sell. You cannot do everything in the truck itself. Am I right, Chef? Do you agree?
I definitely agree with you on this, chef. But the only thing is that my lookout will be like, don't get into the commissary mode until unless you multiply your food truck numbers. If it is going to be 1 or 2 trucks, you manage within your home kitchen.
That is again, home kitchen is a commissary basically.
Yeah, basically you need to do your prep job, everything out there in your kitchen,
Okay.
load it, and then go and finish in the spot wherever you're going to park your vehicle.
Okay.
Be it airport or exhibition centers or IT parks or maybe a government office building, wherever you can put your map.
What are the ideal menus? Can you just tell any, sir, for example, desserts or breakfast or a high tea? What kind of menus will be feasible to do in food trucks?
Well, I don't go for a gourmet food for this food truck operations because gourmet foods are being it has to be sold in a place where you give them an equally a good atmosphere also. You have to go down for a simple, straightforward food. Breakfast means basically idli, vada, pongal, dosa, kara bhat or whatever it is. Lunch means maybe a flavored rice or biryani or be it sambar idli or whatever, bismillah bath or whatever it is. And dinner is again your dosas or idlis or all this flavored rice, everything like whatever you can manage in the truck. Your truck can be 10 by 6 or it can even be 6 by 6. So according to the infrastructure of the truck, the space of the truck, you need to plan the menu. But menu has to be simple, straightforward menu where you can wherever you're catering, make sure that you know the crowd and you prepare those stuff and go and sell it off.
That can be a creative menus like a juice truck or a dessert truck or ice cream truck, whatever can be. Correct? Am I right?
Well, I once recommend to get into a juice truck or a dessert truck. Make it a meal truck like. Don't just get into dessert or juice alone, but try and infuse which is a wholesome meal also like into the offering. Only then it will be viable. But keep the juices and desserts as an option to choose also. But all these things needs to be accommodated within the truck operation. You will have to outsource the perishables. You will have to process it. You will have to hold it, and you will have to finish it by yourself. Only then you can see money here.
Fine. Okay, Chef. Thank you. I think a lot of information. The concepts are changing. The fastest changing trends in the world today is the food trends, basically. See, you see a trend today, the concept or a trend today, within 6 months it is getting updated. And young chefs have to update themselves, which is very, very important. And yes, tell me, Chef.
Yeah. For example, like, in Bangalore, we already have got a lot of food trucks on the streets. Yeah. Which has been parked in different tech parks, which has been driven by the 5-star hotels to standalone restaurants and entrepreneurs. I can see a lot of women are into this business, especially the transgenders are also now coming into this business of selling the food truck business here in Bangalore. So there are a lot of they also get some aid from the government. Some monetary benefits from the government, so they make use of all those things, and they are all getting into it. So, and then they are the owners for that establishment. A lot of people are getting into it. I'm sure this will get into the other states very soon here in India, and this will be a lovely business format for F&B professionals.
Okay, I think. See, chefs. There are two things which I would like to take from your thing is like one is the fastest. We should adapt. We should update and adopt the fast changing trends in the food as well. The second thing is chefs have to turn into entrepreneurs. They should at a point of time they should try to be on their own and they should survive. See, with this kind of scenario, anybody who is on their own can survive better compared to people who are employed because they are at the mercy of the employers. See, for example, now 6 months lockdown, nothing is happening, and a lot of people have lost their jobs and all those things. So chefs have to be prepared to face any kind of situations. For example, before we started, we were discussing a lot of people changed their professions into vegetable and fruit selling on the roads now. We chefs have to be ready. Not only with the jobs, we should try to be ready Even in case of any kind of COVID kind of pandemic situations, we should be able to survive on our own. Like we should even have a cloud kitchen, and we should be able to take things forward from our house itself. A decent chef who is a master chef in any particular cuisine or any kind of any specialization areas, where even from his house he can generate 1,000 rupees a day. That's what a lot of chefs I'm able to see now. And chefs, many chefs in abroad have is now for time being for a short while they have changed their professions as well. They are into delivery of foods from their cloud kitchens and all those things, and they are surviving now, and they will come back to the normal. That may be a new normal. Thank you, Chef Asi.
Absolutely.
And,
Thank you.
Thank you, Chef. Thank you. I think the food pack concept is something which is very, very interesting. It has low investment cost. Real estate, we don't have to spend much, and it is at your disposal. See, whenever you feel like you're fit, you can go open the truck and you can sell the food. Whenever you don't want, you can close it, shut down, and pack it and keep it inside. Like so, it is an opportunity for any chefs to explore these kind of possibilities. Like food carts, street foods are very popular in Singapore as well as in this thing. Only thing is, it has to be safe. It has to be hygienic. It has to be prepared fresh. And that is very, very important. And I think now the next speaker whom we have is Chef Akshay Kulkarni, who is with us now, and he's going to speak on topic called Cook, Chill, Read, and Serve concept, which is very, very interesting and it might take much time. And Chef Akshay Kulkarni, I would like to give a short note about him. He is the head of culinary operations and founder member of India's first recognized culinary school, the Culinary Academy of India, Hyderabad, popularly known as brand CAI, which is one of the best schools. We all chefs in the industry recommend students to get qualified from that institute. Basically, he is an alumni of IHM Hyderabad, and he has worked with the best star hotels and luxury cruise liners before getting into education and training, teaching profession. And he is there in teaching for last 25 years in plus, correct? Now the CAI is 25 years plus, correct? And one among the senior most teaching faculties and one of the from the renowned college. And IFC has recognized him as the best culinary educator award. He has got the best culinary educator award from IFCA, and he has contributed in the field of culinary. Today, we are able to see a lot of chefs, executive chefs, and senior chefs are his students who has been mentored by him, and they have all reached better heights. I am able to see a lot of students when I go abroad from CAI, and they all talk about Chef Sudhakar and Chef Akshay Kulkarni. And they have groomed and they have trained people in a big way. Like they are very committed. That's what we are able to see when we visit their institute. And he is a certified HACCP trainer and a level 3 certified culinary trainer from the Progress International, Cyprus. Under his able guidance, a lot of young chefs have started their culinary journey and they're continuing and they're successful. Chef, I think you can start now.
Thank you very much, Chef Sitaram, for those kind words said about me.
You deserve it, Chef.
Namaskar, Vanakkam, Adab, Sat Sri Akal, and a very good evening to all the young chefs here in the forum. I call young chefs here even for ourselves because this pandemic has actually made us think and we need to revive ourselves. A lot of chefs probably need to think as to what to do next because even we are very unsure. Before I take up my topic, I would also probably like to give a small piece of advice to the student because a lot of students keep asking me, Chef, what about my job? Is my KT program going to go on? Is my HOT program on? Right? I would probably say if you are here on the forum, that means you have a smartphone with you. That means you have a roof on top of your head. That means your father is able to probably provide you 2 meals per day. Use the time. You can probably do a lot of things. Then what to do now is of course a big question. So since we are all chefs, we definitely probably need to keep cooking. And I'm going to talk about a process which we can convert it into a very good business model, right? We're talking about cook, chill, reheat, and serve, right? Today we say that frozen is the new fresh, right? We cannot probably get fresh food all the time. So we definitely need to do frozen foods and then probably turn it into fresh. Here is how you can do it. And I did try this during the pandemic when I was at home, because being a chef at home, I need to do all the cooking. I was in the kitchen always, 4 meals per day. And then I had to do it continuously for the entire 1 month because we were in a lockdown. So what I did was, one fine day, I made almost 6 basic Indian gravies, divided them into portions, and I froze them inside my deep freezer. And every day I used to take out one gravy, reheat, add paneer or probably chicken or mutton based upon what choices they wanted, and a new dish was created. My job became quite easier. And that's the time I also thought this can also be converted into a very good business model. Because today's restaurants, if you're talking about the real estate, we need to invest a lot in real estate. So let's say you take a small place somewhere which is not in a commercial hub, and then make your cook chill technology working. You can work even in the nights. Get your fresh ingredients and you have a blast chiller so that the food is immediately chilled and we do not have any bacteria being grown there. As soon as your food is chilled, divide them into portions, freeze them. This can be transported to your place where you're going to sell. Instead of selling at one place, you can probably buy smaller places at various different locations. Right? Because today people are not ready to even travel because of the pandemic. They want to go as close as possible. So you can probably pick up multiple places, take this food, reheat it back, and present it. So since your food is already cooked, you get a lot of time to actually do presentation. And as we all know, that we eat with our eyes first. Right? So I'll just run through the process again, because we first do a selection of the ingredient, buy the best of the freshness of the ingredient. Then we are going to probably pre-process them, cut them, you want to peel them, you want to chop them. Later on, you're going to cook it nicely. Right? Once your food is cooked, you're going to divide them into portions. Don't try to freeze the entire lot one time, because then you will also have to decompose everything together. Cut them down into portions, freeze them, and then you will probably are ready to reheat and stuff. So generally, we say that we can probably reheat, or we can probably store these foods for almost 5 days together. So that means you have 5 days where you can actually have time to think how many portions you can go to sell. Your food cost is also going to come down because you know how much you have actually sold. Right? So there are a lot of benefits of this cook chill. It's been there in the market for a very long time. Right? We actually buy frozen French fries. We actually buy a lot of frozen foods from the market. Cook chill has been in existence from a very long time. People feel that there is actually a lot of investment out here. Investment is only if you are doing a lot of portions, 1,000, 2,000. But for a restaurant, I think the investment would be to just buy a blast chiller. Rest of the equipment, you generally have it along with you. So it's not much of an investment that you need to do. And then you can definitely turn it out into a very good business model. Right? So the frozen is the new fresh. I think that's what I would like to tell about your cook chill. And I'll
there are a few questions for you, Chef.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, I would like to ask you. What is the shelf life of chilled and frozen products like?
Right. In case you are freezing at minus 18 degrees centigrade, I don't think you need to worry for the next 6 months of time, as long as you don't remove it from the deep freezer. But in case you remove it once, then you need to immediately consume it in the next 24 hours of time. If it is chilling, then the maximum is 72 hours. Okay. So if you are just chilling the food in 72 hours, you need to consume it, as long as you are keeping it in a temperature controlled atmosphere.
Okay, fine. Okay. How and why it will be suitable for Indian foods like?
Indian foods, if you probably say we use a lot of gravies. So we probably can't use this technology for the rice items, but otherwise everything else, it's a gravy, you can freeze it. Your meat can also be cooked, it can also be frozen. And the only thing next you need to do is reheat. And if you also maybe make into portion sizes, then every time you're taking out from your freezer, you are taking out only one portion or two portions. The rest of them is still sitting safe.
Okay. And think how it is suitable for a country like India with so much of population.
Right now, well, I've been talking to a lot of people, and a lot of people are actually getting scared to go out to a restaurant and eat food. A few of them are also not trying to venture out to buy food outside. So in case you market yourself saying that I am a home cook and this is what I'm selling from the house, a lot of people would probably find it safer. And once you probably make a name of yourself in the market, and then you can probably start growing bigger.
Okay, fine, chef. In this, if it is going to be converted as a business model, so people have to sell frozen food where the customer will buy in portions and keep it in their chillers and they will eat and they will consume it. Correct?
That is one way of doing it. You can sell the frozen food directly, or you can probably reheat it and sell it as a hot food too.
Oh, at the outlets itself.
At the outlets itself, or you can even do deliveries.
Okay, fine. I think see, country like India needs this technology most, and with this population what we have, the shelf life of Indian food is much smaller. It is only 3 hours. Like any food which you make sambar, let it be gravy, paneer, whatever it is, maximum 2 to 3 hours. And after that, it's not unsafe. It's unsafe to consume. For a country like India with this kind of food habits, food menus and all menus and the food menus, we need to go into this concept, like basically to cater a larger number of people safe food. Correct? Am I right?
Correct. Yes, absolutely.
So, what will be the capital investment? Is it expensive? This kind of process?
If you're talking about it, no, because as I said, what you will probably need to invest would be in a blast chiller. And today we are getting tabletop models of blast chillers also, right? So the range is starting from somewhere around 50,000-60,000, and it keeps going higher the bigger the blast chiller that you probably purchase. So I don't think there's much of an investment. It would be something like a food truck, and I think it will be a very good option to use it in a food truck also, because your frozen foods can be brought onto the food truck, and then you are just reheating it.
Okay, chef. See, there's something called cloud kitchen, which is very popular, very vibrant nowadays. See, how is this concept, cook, chill, reheat concept, will be suitable for this kind of operations?
Absolutely, absolutely, it will be suitable, because I would say generally if you are operating from a house, the daytime you have a lot of family members and there's a lot of disturbance. You can probably use the night time to do your cooking and freeze it, and the next day what you're doing is you're only reheating and selling it. So you're also, it's not a disturbance to your own family members too. You can do a night shift for yourself.
Fantastic. I think you're bringing a night shift in the house, the domestic segment as well. Okay, I think we should enjoy cooking. I think that is what Chef Arthur will be telling. Basically, cooking should not become a stress. See, people cooking every time fresh, they get stressed up. Washing vessels, cutting vegetables, cooking, all these things, making menus, everything. So this kind of processing, this cook, chill, read process will make your life little easy, and you will enjoy cooking. Whenever you're free, you can do this process, keep it in the chiller or freezer, whatever it is, and regenerate and serve whenever you want to have it. Okay, so it is easy. In fact, you can cook for a meal, and you can have it chilled and freezed, stored for next 2 meals. So you'll be free and can do a better job in anything else you have. So that is what I think Chef Akshay Kulkarni was telling. Correct? Am I right, Chef?
Yes, absolutely.
Fine. Okay, Chef. See, since you are there in the college mentoring a lot of kids and all those things. See, what is the scope for young chefs in the hospitality industry compared to other industry, like IT or engineering or whatever, manufacturing or whatever it is?
Right now, what I would probably say, when IT industry is still doing well, so I don't think we need to compare ourselves with them, because most of the things are now going based on technology, and that's the reason the IT is definitely surviving a lot. But then if you're talking about our industry compared to the other industries like in engineering or this one, we have skill in our hand, and whatever is going to happen, people are going to keep eating food. They can't remain without food. So definitely we will not die of hunger for sure. We might die of COVID, but we will not die of hunger as long as we keep cooking and we keep serving food for everyone.
Fine. Thank you, Chef. Thank you I think it was a lot of very information and useful information. Quick, what is the kind of technology available for this kind of process, chef? Like, what is the technology where we can cook, reheat, chill, reheat, and serve? What kind of technology which is available in the market as of now?
For cooking, whatever we have in our house or the cooking ranges, that is fine. Ovens are there, and you can probably, for your deep freezing facilities, you can even use your refrigerators. It's the blast chiller. The cooling process is going to be the most, because if you take a long time for cooling the food, that's where it is going to pass to the danger zone, which is from 4 degrees centigrade to 62 degrees centigrade. We need to ensure that we make this cooling process as fast as possible so that your food doesn't get spoiled.
Okay. So, is there any equipments you suggest, like apart from the blast chiller, for regenerating the food? Like, is there any equipments?
Right now, it is the fastest is the blast chiller. Otherwise, you can probably even need to use crushed ice, keep your container and keep stirring it. If it is, but that's going to be a long process.
No, I'm talking about the regenerating the food again.
The reheating of food.
Yes,
the reheating of food, again, depend upon what kind of food are you doing it. You can use ovens in case it is a baked product to reheat it. You can probably use your pans and reheat your gravies if you want to do it. Or you can probably even use a microwave and reheat your food.
Okay, fine. I think there's equipment from Melbourne called MeryChef, which regenerates the food very fast. It's a combination of conventional microwave,
Correct.
which regenerates food very fast. I think it's a very good piece of equipment. People should experience that. I think it costs around 3 lakhs, but it's a fantastic piece of equipment where you can dispense food much faster, because it's a combination of convection oven, and a microwave, which is a fantastic equipment where we can regenerate and serve it very fast. Like, it can grill, it can bake, it can that kind of combination it has. Like that.
All right.
So it's a fantastic. And even in the hotels, we have combi ovens like that.
Correct.
So that is one thing which is very useful. Thank you, Chef. I think it was a very useful information about cook chill. It's an interesting concept, and chefs can practice this at home itself as well, and they can start their own cloud kitchens. So that is what I think. That is the reason why we thought we want your detailing into this kind of subject.
Okay, definitely.
Thank you, Chef. Thank you. And the next on board is like Dr. Chef Tirulok. He's going to talk about there's an opportunity for food photography. Food photography is something which is very interesting. See, we chefs are very good at cooking, but I'm able to see a lot of young chefs who are passionate in photography. Like, I'm able to see their hands always with the photograph, with their mobile technology, the best of the cameras they have, and they are able to do it like that. So, is this can become a profession? That is something that's a topic which Chef Tirulok, Dr. Chef Tirulok Chandar is going to talk about. He's basically at present he's the head of Indian Color Institute Tirupati, and he's an academic in charge as well, and he's heading the institute as of now. This is an institute where central government has founded in 2 places in India. One is here and one is in North India. So in Tirupati, they have one of the best color institute with good infrastructure. He's heading the team there. And he has 30 years of teaching experience and 9 years as an HOD, who is heading the team in food production, in the teaching field. And he is a master trainer of National Council of Hotel Management. Noida conducted training conducted training program for teaching faculties of at NCHM Noida. Received award for best presentation at the international conference at IHM Delhi. Conducted various demonstrations, and I have seen his presentations and speeches where he does a great job like that. And he, as on date, 12 research papers has been submitted by him, and of course he is a doctor he is PhD qualified as well, and he has visited countries like Malaysia, Singapore, and Switzerland for betterment of training and teaching profession like that. Chef Tirulok, you can go ahead with your topic.
Good evening, Chef Damodaran and Chef Sitaram and all the co-panelists and all the participants. It's a wonderful opportunity for me to interact with that. And now 2 people, when they meet, there's so many things they take down now, they discuss about COVID-19. Or many people meet also, we discuss about COVID-19. And since March, I have been observing lots of webinars being conducted on post-COVID. But this is the first time SICA has come out with some sort of topic which is futuristic, I would say that. They want to think about the future, forget about the COVID-19. Maybe this may be a passing cloud. As Chef Damodaran said, it will be there till 21 January or February, whatever it is. Maybe it may be another 6 months. And before I start this webinar, I saw an interesting photo sent by one of my hotelier. That first photo of Russia vaccine. I also thought that something interesting when he put vodka. See, that first photo, I don't know, they want to promote vodka now, or they want to promote the vaccine which they are going to introduce to the world. But the photo makes a difference. That's why I was interested.
First is vodka, after the really vaccine.
Very, very interestingly it was. Just 3:40 before I want to switch on my laptop. Interesting thing. See, this is, again, I want to tell you, the Minister of Tourism, like Chef Sitaram said, that we have started 2 institutes. I'm not here to promote our institute, just I'm mentioning that one in Tirupati, one in Noida. And we also conducted a webinars, national level webinar. And one of the speaker for a webinar is Chef Damodaran, who is a chief guest. Why I want to mention this, one of the great chef, no doubt about it. And when we conducted a webinar in the morning hours, even the chief guest could not enter. That much it was full, platform was full. After that, chief guest was asking me to allow me to enter. That much feedback, that much participation was there. So it was so interesting, that webinar. Apart from that, I would like to invite other panelists who are there and others also, because we are planning a series of webinar, Minister of Tourism. There is our director, Mr. Gyan Bhushan, Indian Economic Service, who is also heading Institute of Hotel Management CEO. So he wants good webinars, even the practical webinars. Now, 2 days before he spoke to me, let us move away from the theoretical webinar. Let us get into chefs. Let them do a practical webinar. You videograph it and send it to our ministry, so that we will. That is another step we want to do it, because as we were discussing, it's going to continue till 21st. Something will make it interesting. Okay.
Sika has shared videos of wax which has come from wax. All the practical cooking techniques, cooking methods. This kind of videos we have shared with all the Sika members. So I request all the young chefs to utilize this opportunity to go into all the details, become a member in Sika, get all this information, and try to learn more.
No, very good, Chef. Even our Gyan Bhushan sir mentioned it, that he has received from Chef Soundarajan. When he was talking, he had mentioned about it. It could be from IFCA and this one. But his idea is, apart from recorded video, you make some live videos also, you send it. Anyway, we'll make an attempt. Anyway, you are all with us. We can do it also. Chef, now we will come back to the topic, food photography. There are 2 aspects. One is, suppose if you want me to explain about the food photography, the process, that what are the features, what are the camera, how much camera cost, what are the 10 best food photographer in the world, that is another thing. But Chef Sitaram very clearly told me, this is an International Youth Day. We have to focus on entrepreneurship. So I will deviate my line. I have a videos, I have a PPT, which I will share it for the other young students. I will through Parthiban, you can take my email ID, I will share it. That I have not. That I'm not going go into the detail, because it will take more than 15-20 minutes, which will be not a prompt, appropriate for this program. My what Mr. Chef Sitaram told me, how it's going to be useful for the professional people, how somebody can make a profession out of it. This is the main focus on that. The first food photography I want to tell you, when I was in Hyderabad, Chef Mark, he's one of the very great chef of this group. I don't know whether he's there or not today, but we all know him, very highly skilled person. We conducted a workshop in Krishna Oberoi. Now we changed it into a different name, Taj. Actually, there was a workshop where he invited me. They prepared, he and another chef who had come from Delhi prepared lots of dish. There was a food photographer. This I'm telling you in the 90s. The food photographer, after tasting everything, he tasted little by little. But after that, he concluded to Chef Mark, sir, nothing fit to be taken a photo. Chef Mark, little wondering, why? No, sir, this is not a correct thing, because it's very tasty, very appetizing, very good. But photograph, I need different dishes, then only I can put it. I think he had come from Indian Express, I remember that. He said different one. Then after that one, I learned, that was my first learning from the photographer. He was telling that it should be half cooked, it should be half fried, it should be sometime raw, then only it will be visible. If you deep fry the capsicum will not be visible in the photo. So we want only half fried. So again, myself, still I remember Chef Mark, whether he remembers or not, I'm recollecting it. Myself and Chef Mark, again, we took some of the pans in the kitchen. We made some of the dishes, we presented. So what I mean to tell the students is, this is a 2 different one. This I observed when Chef Damodaran came to IHM Chennai for a culinary workshop, where regional workshop he prepared 17 dishes. Forget about what he prepared in Savera for Guinness World Record 640 dishes. That I'll not go into that. 17 dishes in 2.5 hours. But what Chef Damodaran brought a photographer. He had come to the institute also. Then the photographer, what happened? I still remember Chef Damodaran gave a break and he made the photographer to take all the photos. Then he continued with the cooking. That was another learning from Chef Damodaran. Then I asked the photographer again because I was coordinating the program. He said, "Sir, this is the right way. If you take a finished product, we may not get it, sir. That's why we have taken this photos." And I still remember that Chef Sitaram was telling. One student, I think still he was from Kerala, he was studying IHR, and he used to take most of the photographs of celebration, photos, demos, even Chef Damos also was covering it. And once we had some Onam function, we were all in a group photo. We were all very tired because we had to go for lunch after the master, others have to go to the respective hotels. That the student was telling, all of you smile, smile. So we were all a little tensed, we were in a hurry to go. But one of the faculty very sarcastically made, I never seen the students in the class only with the camera only I'm seeing. Everybody started smiling on her face. Because that boy, why I'm mentioning it, I think after that also I interacted with him when he finished 3 years. Because he had a very minimum attendance, he passed that degree. But I'm sure that yesterday also I wanted to try his number and I think, but I could not get it. I think by this time, I'm sure somewhere he's a good photographer because including the first year, second year, third year itself, he had that interest. I think he has got family background. He had a very good Canon camera, very costly camera, high resolution camera. And he learned all these things simultaneously, like Chef Damodaran in the demonstration. All of the I think even we have Sika, one preliminary competition was here. I think he was there, he was taking photos. That's the way he developed. So what I mean to say that students, see now eye appeal is very, very important. Any product, when we say that even in our cookery terms, our eye should accept it. If I have to eat a idli, it should be white in color. If it's slightly brownish color, it may be tasty, but I may not accept it. I still remember in the 80s, this upma and pongal were not popular among the South Indians. We used to go to a restaurant, we used to prefer for a paper roast dosas or a puffed puris or a bel puri or a this one chole bhatura, which is puffed and the waiter is bringing it. Okay, but I will tell you, the photograph made, especially the Sarvanabound restaurant where they entered in the field, they were the first people, I'm telling you, they were the first people to take a nice ghee pongal and nice khichdi and put it in the photo where they made people to order for khichdi and pongal. This is still, I'm telling this my personal experience. I also used to take only the paper roast, dosa, this and other thing. When the photo I've seen, okay, let me try a ghee pongal, which is nicely photographed. Then one day I become addicted to that, and whenever I used to go to with my family, we used to order for a ghee pongal. Then I asked some of the cashier who are there, what is the turnover of that? If this is whether a fast-moving item, yes, it is a fast-moving item. I mean to say that even if you take another restaurants which Adyar Anand Bhavan, they opened in all over India, plus they are going to abroad also. They also, this photograph makes lots of difference when presenting it. So this is a photo which our students, good photographer, they want to take it. So I don't want to misguide the students who are watching. Yes, you have a big career, you will earn more money, you will become an entrepreneur. See, certain profession can be for many, certain profession for few. Music directors, we cannot have a few, so many music directors. Even if you Tamil film industry, if you take it from 50s, we can list down a few music directors. We can list down a cameraman with a limited one. But this you need basic, your knowledge, your interest. You need a camera. See, if you are in a kitchen, you cannot go without a kitchen kit. If you are in MBBS without stethoscope, okay, I cannot. So you need a best camera. Then apart from that, you need a commitment. You learn all this. See, that's why I think Akshay also, I don't know, because Akshay also, because they are the pioneer in starting the Culinary Institute in India. I think whether they have this subject in food photography. But in Indian Culinary Institute, both in Tirupati and Noida, we have introduced this topic. We have a separate subject, not that. Whereas in Institute of Hotel Management at present, they don't have this topic. But I have cross-checked yesterday. I have done lots of homework and come to this. They have said that it's one of the topics for that. But here in Indian Culinary Institute, we have a separate subject, which is 100 marks paper, theoretical component. But we are planning to do a practical component also. We are asking already students to buy a camera, which is not very costly. As Chef Sitaram said that now cell cameras with high resolution camera also play an important role in that. But one more futuristic thing what we are planning is, we want to get into that Institute of Film Technology, where the diploma in film technology is separated there. I had been to the institute because our institute, IHM Chennai, is situated next to that. I had been there. I have spoken to one of the HOD just 3 days, 4 days back for my subject. That time I knew that Chef Sitaram is going to give this topic. But I was talking to my students' point of view, any guest lecture can be arranged. Then he told me, sir, we will give a webinar for that. But when normalcy returns, bring your students to an Institute of Film Technology where we will try to show them. Then anyway, next to our building, your Institute of Hotel Management also there. So we will take the food samples, we will teach the students. That's a very good thing. It's happening. But it is not our intention, or even the students who are listening to my lecture, nothing. Sir, as you said that we will jump into food photography. Food photography, you need interest, you need knowledge, basic knowledge for anything, any technical thing I'm telling you. The spontaneous, technical experiential knowledge is very, very important. Simply, you cannot say, no, sir, I have a camera. I used to take birthday parties, I used to take marriage parties. There, I have become a professional cameraman. That's a different. I think what I planned all my theory on another thing which I am sharing to later, with all it's an input where you people have to learn, you people have to take up a professional studies, then only you can become a cameraman. When we all join, even Akshay and others also will agree with me, when we all join first day of IHMs, we all visualize a GM of hotel, GM seat or a corporate chef seat. Then only we remember that to reach that, like we need hard work, professionalism, sacrificing so many things, then only we can teach. So the young students who are aiming for a food photography in future, have an interest, learn theoretical aspects, attend guest lectures, interact with the people, interact with the chefs who are there in the panel, learn more things. By experiential learning only, you can become a food photographer. Then after that, yes, I can give you one example. I will finish this one. Chef, we were doing a webinar in Culinary Institute topic. First, we thought we will go to the digital posters, we will go to the professionals, like event management. Then only the Indian talent, we have come out from IHM Chennai and the IC Tirupati. 2 students, they opted out. Sir, we will do digital banners. They are doing beautiful digital banners. Even Chef Damodaran webinar, they one student only from IHM Chennai. And after that, Chef Arvinder Bali webinar we had, that is one student client from Tirupati. He's in a very small town. His family is having this photography business only. From there, he has done a beautiful job. What I mean to say that sometimes the hidden talents will be there. We are the faculty members, we have to bring it. But to become a food photographer, yes, you need academic knowledge, plus you need knowledge from the chefs. Chefs may not be like Chef Sitaram very frankly said that we are not a photographer. But they have the techniques of telling you the presentation, color, brightness, natural color. Like the chef was giving how the Indian food, how much it will keeping quality, all these things they'll tell you. Then that's the way you learn. Like how I mentioned about when Chef Damodar was doing it in IHM Chennai. He had, my just guess, I may be wrong also, he had around 30 to 40% knowledge on food photography. That much he was there. Because that was, I think, because of experience he might have learned, I think that. Because he is a person, celebrity chef, giving lots of videos, so he might have learned. Beautifully we learned from him. So apart from his cooking technique. So again, I repeat to the students, take up this profession if you have interest. Otherwise, don't compromise. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your parents' money by buying a camera and leaving it on the shelf.
Sir, I have 2 questions. Like, see, I am really surprised that you have a subject on food photography in your institute. Like, it's something which is interesting, and we are coming to know first time in an institute. They are teaching food photography as well. Yes. See, now kids are much familiar with the photographs, and they don't have to wait for a day or 2 for the professional photographer. It's so expensive, all those things. The simple things they can shoot and they can online the photographs for any kind of promotions, whatever it is. As you rightly said, eyes eats first. So the chef should have a minimum knowledge of photography, so that a good quality chef, so that he is able to present his dishes in a nice way through photographs for people to get eye appeal. Right? So as you rightly said, that you were eating dosas and all those things. And when it comes to seeing a good photograph of Pongal can be presented well in a photograph. Then you are tempted to have that actually. The photographs makes a lot of sense, and I think we should have some knowledge about food photography for all the chefs, and eyes, and then your nose eats. The smell is nice, then it goes into your mouth. So that is how it is, and I think very good information, insight you have given about food photography. I think very good opportunity is there where good chefs, they can click their photographs within no time. They can online do a promotion on online. So that is what minimum knowledge is needed for any kind of professional young chefs. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And I think now we have Chef Raj Mohan. Chef Raj Mohan, Dr. Chef Raj Mohan, he is going to talk about concept development. Concept development is something which is an interesting subject. A lot of young chefs should be aware of this concept development. This is going to be the trend. Like whoever is going to be more creative, more innovative, they're going to develop new concepts. They're going to be successful. More successful. They're going to become a consultant. They're going to be a freelancing consultant as well. Freelancing consultant where they can develop concepts and sell their concepts and make money. So that is something which is very, very interesting. Chef Raj Mohan. Of course, we have 2 Guinness World Records in this panel. Chef Damu, who is having a Guinness World Record for the marathon cooking, longest cooking this thing, and then he has done a salad. Final weight of the salad was being 1,121 kgs of salad. He has
salad. Yes, sir. It's a bean salad. It's the largest bean salad.
And largest bean salad which he has made. And Chef Raj Mohan is a very active member of SICA, who is now the Junior Forum coordinator as well. The chief coordinator is Chef Kannan, and he's assisting him. And he has done a lot of events with us, and he is now in the college heading the department, hotel management department in Clinical. And I request Chef Raj Mohan to present this concept.
Yes, sure. Thank you so much, Chef. Thank you for giving the very, very great introduction about me, and very great good evening to the president of SICA and the panelists. I feel myself very happy to be on this esteemed panel. So my given topic is content development. It's most important in present scenario how to formulate your ideas and how you can make it consummate by the proper thought process. So that's what I'm going to discuss in this presentation. One more thing from my point is, it is for the startup procedure. What the content I have prepared is only for the startup entrepreneurs, as well as for the young chefs, how they can develop themselves with ideas and how they can come out with the formulation. That's all I can make it in this slide presentation. Let's start with a wonderful quote that all innovation is an extension of human capability. So in the last presentation, chefs are discussing about the various equipments and everything. So now we are also in the very critical situation, like Corona and everything is there. Even we are surviving. Even some countries are announcing that we come out with the different vaccines and medicines and everything. And in the early days, you know that we don't have any equipments or nothing. We use the grinding stone to make a masalas and everything. We have only the ordinary bakery oven and the salamander like that. Now we have the multiple machines and technology are there. So these are the things are the innovation or invention from the side of the human. So so the innovation is the certificate of the existence of human, especially the human capability. So I can give you one more example that early days there is nothing is there, like there is no bulldozer, nothing is there. We just use our hand to dig the sand or mud. So earlier we developed with the ideas of bulldozer and earth mower or something. So like that, the technology and the ideas and the invention is is the prime and the most important one thing for the content development, as well as it is the certificate that the extension of human capability is still there in this world. And next my point is, what is this concept? Concept, I will tell myself, it is a design, it's an embryo, Tamil solna it is a karu. So it is developed according to the style and the nature of the individuals. The individual is an entrepreneur. So that's what I mentioned here in the second line. Concept is an envisage of your promoter. So it is this idea, it is his design. He may have the several experimentation with the concept, and he thoroughly understand what the market is, how we can take it forward this concept to the market segment or to the customer segment. So it is all about understanding the consumers and market. Accordingly, an individual has to design his thinking. So how you have to do the design? As you are all the professionals, my kind advice is to, I will say this concept as a DT, is a design thinking. I will tell it's simply. So what do you mean by design thinking in the sense? So usually what we do, if you want to make some formulation in any concept, we will go and ask to 10 to 15 people or 100 people asking some question and answer. We'll get their feedback. Accordingly, we will come to the finalization. But in my point of view, that for design thinking, you should go to the extreme side. You should go to the extreme and get the best out of that from the extreme. So like I tell you, go with the multiple experimentation is very, very important to bring a very great concept, to bring a very great design thinking. So I will tell you in the third point, promoter will give the formulation or design to the concept through his experimentation. It's not by asking or getting the survey. It is more than that, doing a great experimentation, several experimentation. After the experimentation only, you will get 100% certification. My design, my product, my concept is okay. It will easily reach to the customer side. It will be viable. So I can easily take it to the public sector. Like you can get some kind of confidence, then it will push you to be it will give some kind of confidence within you to take it forward. So that's what I'm mentioning here. Go to the extreme for the experimentation and bring the ideas from history. So this is the very highlighting word and the point of making the design thinking. And one more thing is very important in the design, technical and economically viable. So as a young entrepreneur, you are more concerned about the finance, right? And technically, there will be the many barriers. Initially, you cannot make heavy investment and purchasing the heavy equipment and the machines. So that time, high barrier on the productions. So that time, you should be think on the and work on the point how we can make your product that can be easily done with the available ingredients and available mechanisms and the machines what you have. Otherwise, you find the better place where we can source all the what the product, what you are going to keep it in your market. And one more thing in the concept. So concept, when it will be success means when you set the benchmark in your design or benchmark in your concept. So design thinking and concept both are same. So what the design you have, it is the product. That design only going to sell it to the customer side after making several trials. That's what I'm mentioning it as experimentation. Once the individual, that means the entrepreneur is 100% okay with his product, then he's taking it to the customer. That's a sales area he's taking it. So when the concept became successful is when it gets the benchmark standard. So once you start your concept, you should frame the time, that how many months, how many years, how long it takes, how we have to work, and will it reach to the benchmark or not. So if it is reaching to the benchmark only, you can say you can say it yourself as a brand or the then only my suggestion is you go for the franchise concept. So here I am in my first slide I am mentioning about the entrepreneur. What are the qualities the entrepreneur should have? So he is not like an ordinary businessman. He will be more happy how his product is speaking to the customer side, how his product is going purchasing by the public, how what reactions or what responses that the customers are giving to the market people, the supermarket people. So he should be the high level of visionary. More than making money, he want to build his brand. That's what I'm mentioning. He want to make his that benchmark. So he has a high level of passion in his art. Maybe nowadays we are seeing more entrepreneurs. That's a shift. That's a entrepreneurs who coming to the F&B field is from the IT or some other field. So what is most important thing in my perception is art and work and skill. You should have basic ideas about what you are doing, how you have to reach, how you are taking your channel. Everything is very important. And one more thing, he should be the sleeper cell. He should not act himself as a businessman. The entrepreneur should be a sleeper cell. He should live with his consumer, that's a customer, and he should act and think as like a consumer. Then only he can sustain the market and take it forward his concept to the long level. And one more thing, how these entrepreneurs get totally different. That's my point of view is strive professionally to bring up the brand and to get succeed on his vision. So professionally run, it is very important. When you are doing some professionally, then only you have some visions. That means I will go to the such kind of expansion in this much of year. I will make this kind of product and I will reach to this particular category of people. My product should have this kind of standard. Everything you will have the intuition and have the confidence only if you start running your business in the professional manner. And one more thing I will add, nowadays we are very much thinking and whether we'll start or not, what will happen, and the situation is not good, and if you start, what will happen? Because there is a great dilemma is there. I know that. Venturing into the entrepreneurship is not the easiest thing. So it's all rounded with the money. It's all rounded with the financial constraints. So yeah, individual, that means the entrepreneur should have a very bold decision and he should have the concrete on his vision and the decision. So he should ready to face any kind of challenges and business risks. So it's all my small definition about the entrepreneur. And I'm mentioning about this benchmark. So why this benchmark is important and why we have to set the benchmark for your concept or a design thing. So some people will ask, sir, I started one outlet. Shall I go for one brand? That means shall I go for the expansion, or shall I make one brand? I will tell, my dear, please wait for another few months or another few years. Please study yourself, how you are going, what struggle you are facing, and let me see how the market is accepting you. So these are the things are very important before we are going with the expansion leg. So please make the expansion on your product, on your brand. So you should get the identity. Once you make the benchmark, your product, your name, your color of the shop, everything gets some kind of identity. That identity is the recognition. Okay, if you go to this particular shop, we'll get an excellent cake. If you go to this particular shop, you'll get excellent parota and something. So this kind of benchmark you should create. Then branding is very important. Once you set the benchmark, definitely your brand will get expand. And it is once you set the benchmark, it is the time for you to move forward. That means you should think on the Francis concept. So once you set what the benchmark, you will very clear about how the business progress, how in which level you are, everything you can easily understand. And efficient confidence. Here, my dear people, I am not mentioning about the confidence. I am mentioning about the efficient confidence. It will give the boosted confidence to you that you can go forward. Okay, I can take my brand to the franchise. I can easily sell my brand to the another people for setting the another outlet. So it will give you a very boosted energy and boosted confidence. So that's what I'm mentioning here is a very efficient confidence once you set the benchmark for your concept or your idea. So here I am mentioning for last 3 slides I'm mentioning. Now I'm telling about the development. So see, concept is the design you created, and when you are a concept converted into money means when it reaches to the market or the customer. So the channelizing factor is the development. So first, how you are taking your concept or your product to the customer side, that is very important. Whether you're going to do the business in the online, or you are going to do it in a food truck, or you are making any cloud kitchen, or it will be the online delivery. So you should first conceptualize or the develop how you going to take this product to the customer side. That's what I'm mentioning here. Development the process immediately after the design is ready. Your design, your concept is ready, then immediately go for the product. That's a concept development. The process, how we can make the process, how the chain will continue, how I can easily take my product to the customer end. So that's what we have to plan. And before doing the development, when you are doing development, that time only financial constraint will be rising. So I already told you the nature of business. What type of business we are having, outlet or online, etc. So what type of customer you are focusing? Or we are focusing on the A category customer or B category customer or C category customers? Okay, I am focusing only on C category. Okay, you make some kind of determination that your target audience and the strength. We should see your potential. So the I am single or I am with the family. I have to. What are the commitment I have? Everything you should think while you are taking your concept to the market side. And capacity. Capacity means your charisma. Whether you can only do the cooking, whether you can do only the business, whether only you can do the marketing, or do you need any kind of backup support? That's the thing is known as capacity here. Ultimately, money is very important. So how much amount of finance you have, it's all make it a form of good business. And this development process is very important. And it is only showing your concept into the very big or a very small or a very medium. And I divide this concept into two. One is entertainment based concept, another is necessity based concept. So entertainment is the hospitality sector. So hotel, restaurants, these are the things comes in the entertainment sectors. So in entertainment sectors, you know that we all are the well-educated chef, very professional chef. We have the very well-experienced chefs are working, and we are all managing. And the customers who are coming into the entertainment sector, they will love all the things, not only your food, your service, your hospitality, your interior, everything they will love. Also, we have our uniqueness in your concept and everything. So it is a entertainment type of concept. My dear viewers, you please think it on which concept you should go. Whether you have to focus on entertainment concept or you should go on the necessity concept. Entertainment concept, all the hotels and the fine dining restaurants will come. Necessity is very simple. Nowadays we are seeing Borota and Italy stall. The crowd is thronging like anything, and the biryani stall, the crowd is like anything. So it's a necessity. The people needs the food everyday life. And the 2 days back, I have read one news article that many of the entrepreneurs are mushrooming after this lockdown season. I'm not actually this is a news by the Times of India. Many of them started that Colombo stall, that gravy stall, and the Borota stall, and the biryani stall. Like the small entrepreneurs are mushrooming like anything. So here you should think on the necessity. Maybe it is organized by the professional manpower, or the individual maybe the professional, and maybe someone from other field, due to the profession he is started his business. And necessity kind of business should be the affordable rate. It should be the very affordable, that myself, the economical person can afford affordable, and with that affordable rate he should get the very good quantity. And menu are based on necessity and should be very simple. Okay. Then how the business should be for the startup business. No, nowadays we are seeing many entrepreneurs coming with the very short menu, or else with the single item. My suggestion is please go with the chef. Yes, chef. Please go with the very simple menu, and these are things you should practice. And one more thing very important is go with the basic hygiene standards, and you should focus on your target audience, and daily updates are very important. What you're doing, that should be posted in Instagram or to the Facebook or different social media. You just make it possibly you just throw it in the public view. And here I want to mention you main thing for the entrepreneurs. Please start speak with your customers every day and greet the customers. So customer experience are very important for the entrepreneurs for the upselling market. Here you can understand that the communication between the customer and the entrepreneur should be like a personalized. He should feel that we are in this home. You are taking the food in the home. That kind of feel you should create. That will make a very great change in your business volume and the business, and also in the purchase decision of the entrepreneurs. So customer segmentation. So manpower, it is a very risky job nowadays. Please understand, manpower is very difficult, only getting the right and everything. If you want to think beyond, if you want to make it your business externally, you should have a right person. You train right person and debut your work to the right person, then only you think it on beyond. Otherwise, your work will not get expand. And I give you a few examples of the very young entrepreneur who have the startup. it is the post box number 17. It is in Pondicherry. So it is a very small outlet by Karan Singhal. He is only age 22 years old. This fellow is from Pondicherry. He is running a small shop now, and inside now he is serving the European kind of concept. And what the specialty of this concept is, he is cooking all the food items in the tawa. It's the most interesting thing here. Usually for the Italian food item, we go with some pan and something, but he will cooking all the thing in tawa based cooking. So after the lockdown, he don't know what to do. He immediately start thinking a new thing of cloud kitchen. Now he is serving more than 200 tiffins in each meal services as a vegetarian to the different people. Now our chef master is that he is also very young entrepreneur. His concept is also very sweet and very fine thing. And the main product of this concept is tea and coffee. He is telling me he has no thumb rules. He is telling I am not. My fundamental product is the tea and coffee. Even though I have no thumb rule to go with more adding with more items. Also, he is telling bring innovation on your products. Standard taste and go with the simple ingredients. And one more thing of the halwa paya, you can also think it on the promoting the geographical products. Like you can take a palkova, you can take a panchamridam, you can take a laddu. So there is a lot of scopes are there in the digital platform. You can also promote the geographical indicator products through the online platform. And one more concept, please see this entire Sinisuve restaurant is made up of container. Nothing is, there is no building. Only they have the space of land. You can easily shift to anywhere. The entire thing is the it is in Madurai. It is entire thing is the that container. Inside the concept is to complete the movie. So it is the place very ideal for the movie lovers. And one more interesting concept is car biryani. So the owner name is actually this video is now very viral in social media. He has the restaurant name Madam Sandin in Pondicherry. He is running it from 1998. But after the lockdown, he has no business. He want to protect his employee. He start his car biryani business. Now he is selling the biryani in car. In 70 rupees he is selling. He is telling that I having a own restaurant. Even though for the love and the affection, I have to take care of my employees. I just come forward for this car biryani concept. So there are different news articles are there. This is what I mentioned here in this in my presentation, that many new entrepreneurs are mushrooming in this lockdown days. Good biryani sales, everything is there. And one more assistant professor is the interesting news in the. His name is Maheshwaran. He came out from the college. Now he started selling the muruk. He is from Tiruchendur. He is presently in Neyveli. At the time of professorship, he earned monthly 15,000. Now he is earning minimum 800 rupees a day. So there are a lot of ways are there. If you have very good concept, if you have very good willpower, that you can definitely success in your life. Thank you so much, Chef.
Chef, thank you. I think it was very informative, and you have done quite a bit of research, and you have presented very well and very interesting. And how to take for youngsters, how to think forward, how to develop a concept. You have given an insight, and very important thing is concept development should be out of the box. Like you should bring in a biryani flavor to pasta flavor to a paratha. So this kind of things we have to be very creative. Develop new concept, present it well, package it, and try to market it. There are a lot of people who are ready to with money, tons of money where they don't know what to do. So go present it. They will invest on you, and then you can develop the concept. Like you can send the concepts. Like okay, see, this is what something which is very very important. Concept developing is very interesting. Try to think out of the box. Try to be more creative. Chef Damu, there is a question for you, Chef. Like, what are the professional qualities needed for a young chef to grow in hospitality industry? There's a question for you.
Actually, the young chef should have the willing to learn things first of all.
Okay.
And good attitude.
Okay.
As well as well disciplined.
Okay.
And gathering the knowledge from the senior chefs.
Okay.
And as well as exhibiting the skills and knowledge as far as possible. As far as possible.
Okay.
And by observing things. See, actually, we are all actually come up to this level not somebody taught us, at least there are people to teach somebody. We have observed the people, what they're doing it. So the observation is required. My self-attitude is required. And willing to learn is required. And I said very much, I said, more than that, loving towards the profession is required.
Thank you, Chef. Thank you, Chef. And I think it was very useful. And Chef Akshay, there's a question for you. Okay. Chef, can freeze drying be much easier than the deep freezing? Since the deep freezing sometimes damages the food due to ice crystals. From Antonio Xavier. Anto Xavier.
It depends upon the food, chef, because we can't freeze all food, because in case you're probably taking lettuce, it's not a vegetable that we can probably freeze. Or even if you probably take rice,
Yes.
we can't probably freeze rice. It depends upon the product. We need to develop our concept accordingly.
Okay. Thank you, Chef. Thank you, Chef. I hope you have answered the question, the student's question, like, basically. And we have now Chef Kannan, who is with us. And Chef Kannan is a junior forum coordinator of SICA. Chef Kannan is an ex-president of SICA and he's a founding member of SICA. He has 37 years of experience at Taj Hotels and Resorts. 21 years in flight catering. It's something which is a nice concept, actually. Flight catering is totally a different, something which is new. And 16 years, he has specialized in Italian food and South Indian food. Like Chef Kannan, your topic, I think everybody is aware, cooking demos and celebrity chef.
Yeah.
And we have a celebrity chef and president with us, like, Chef, now.
Hey.
Good evening. Thank you very much for the SICA given this opportunity for the World Young Youth Day. It is a really great. My topic is demo and celebrity chef. Demo is really, you can do it wonderfully. You can do it for the cooking and show. And you can simplify the cooking, actually.
Good.
And you can do it, your innovative and creativeness will come. And you can develop the latest trend and try to use for the local ingredients. You can develop a lot of example demos. You can do it for the whatever you like demo for the your innovative things you can come out. And a demo is not only the demo means just like cooking and showing, but live demo also you could do. You can automatically improve your self-confidence. You can do that in demos. And this celebrity chef, basically well-experienced chef, basically. They have a skill knowledge. They have a cooking in front of the camera without fear. That is very, very important. And they should understand the public requirements, what they require, right? According to that, they have to develop, they have to show that. That very good, very important for the celebrity chef. It is an attitude. It's very, very important. They will explain to that whatever the public asking for the questions, everything they have to answer. They should have a good knowledge about the food. And now is even you can demo. Now it is at present situation in the lockdown period. You can do it at home. As Chef Akshay said very clearly, he started cooking for 3 days, 4 days food and trying for that for the freezing food. It is a very good concept. We used to do it in the flight kitchen. We tried it. It is very successful. What is Chef Akshay said is 100% I'll accept. You can easily do it. You can, the same thing for Akshay Chef said, what the Kasi Chef said, it is, you can utilize for this into the, for the truck also. Basically, you can do the demos for the, not only the TV shows demos. You can start with, in future, you can start with the demo kitchen. You can start your own demo kitchen. Even call for the specialty. But now the Chef Raj Mohan said, parota, biryani or specialized people and all, you can call him and you can do the demo in your kitchen. And automatically that is coming at if you are doing proper with the equipments, it is not much investment for the demo kitchen required. Basically required whatever the small oven, good range, good freezer, and you have to create you the recipes with, you can do it for the lot of, now you can put it in the website. They are doing for a lot of people are doing for the YouTubes, Facebook, all they are doing. But you can do it. It is a professional manner. You can do it for your own demo kitchen in professional manner. You can bring out all the lot of youngsters. Some people not able to go to the catering colleges to studies. Those people, like example, 10th failure boys or even housewives, all you can take it in the demo classes in different timings. In afternoon, you can do it for your business also. As now it is Rajmohan was brought up a lot of very good concept. For the, you can do it for the whatever the specialty, you can show it. Even example, Chef Kasi told that specialty, like a breakfast time, you can show your breakfast demo, good breakfast demo, innovative, and with simple, with the healthy concept, you can do it. This is a what demo. And celebrity chef, yes, we have a very good South Indian famous celebrity chef with us. Our president itself is there with Dabo.
Okay.
And yes, chef with this Sanjeev Kapoor is there. And chef MS Gill is there. So many chefs are there. Even you can like example, the demo kitchen. This even I am doing every day for a demo. I am sending it to my friends and chefs and the relatives. I am getting the feedback. I'm also learning now. Even this stage I am learning. The chefs, you can do like this, chef, you can do this. Yeah, they are giving that lot of. I am doing only the vegetarian. You can do it in the wonders in vegetarian also. Not necessary you have to spend a lot of money for the meats buying and all. That's why you can do it for the demo and demonstration confidently. You can do it with the proper equipment, professional manner. You can start in future your own demo kitchen. And now the youngsters, I want to tell you this. I'm taking this opportunity. I want to tell you the youngsters, health is wealth. Health is very, very, very important. Without health, you can't do anything. If your health is good, your family is good. Automatically, wherever your working place will be good. Do minimum 30 minutes for the exercise, 30 minutes for walking, simple for the meditation, and breathing exercise must. In part of the life, in 24 hours, you can spend 1 hour for you. Why I'm telling this industry, stressable industry, everywhere, all the industries, but this industry specifically, you have to work with the physically and mentally you have to work. And now a lot of young chefs we lost 3 years to within 2-3 years. We don't want this because your working timings is different. Everybody is a sleeping time. We are working the most of the time night time and the evening time. Everybody, all the example, all the HODs in 6 o'clock leave, but we will work up to 11:30, 12 o'clock because we are directly with the contact with the guest. That's why, and especially for this period, please don't scared. This will go off definitely. You are wait for some time within the 2 or 3 months. It will get everything will be normalized. Tamil சொல்லுவாங்க இதுவும் கடந்து போகும் சொல்லிட்டு. அதனால that is very, very important. Young chefs, நோயற்ற வாழ்வே குறையற்ற செல்வம். That is very, very important. அதனால health is wealth. Please take care your health. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chef. Thank you. Very information and very, I think, some knowledge you have thrown in from your side, from your experience. Chef Damu, you want to chip in when it comes to a demo and cooking demo? You are a master in that. I think you have a lot of patience and you need to have a lot of passion, patience, a lot of things when you're doing a demo in front of a large public. I have seen you demonstrating to 1,000 people, 2,000 people, and you want to chip in anything?
Actually, no, when they say demonstration, first of all, you must know what is that dish you're going to prepare and the ingredients and method of cooking. I'm talking about the process of cooking. I'm not meaning about the steam cooking or the cooking methods. No, I'm talking about the series of cooking. What else you have to add? I'm adding onion, next what, next what, next what. Then only the end product, and it comes out very well with the color combination. Whenever you do a demo, you should be very confident actually. So I always, whenever I do a demo, definitely I'll be confident. There are possibilities you miss out certain things. The possibilities plenty actually. That time you should be able to manage that. You should overcome that. Then only people will not see, okay, in the flow, in the run, it will go off also. So the minute you're going to stop it, definitely it will be a drastic mistake as if I made. So that you have to overcome that. And then it has to be very smooth, and you should attract the people. Okay, while talking, while explaining the food, and while explaining the ingredients, the method of preparation, and what they call the value of nutritive value of the ingredient, you should attract the guest. Everybody should, the eye should be on you only. So the attraction is very important. Yeah, that's what I said. Sometimes there are possibilities that you make a mistake. That you should overcome that by speaking only. So the spoken language, as well as when you avoid that, when you adjust that, when you modify the speech, that is very important demonstration. See, so many TV programs which are doing it. So the flow is there. The flow, the continuous flow is there. Maybe they cut here and there. Whenever you do a live demonstration like that, so you have to be very careful of the flow of language, one, the flow of ingredients, the flow of cooking, and also the flow of presentation. These are things very important in demonstration. Before that, anything that you must be confident, one, and you must know what you're cooking.
Thank you, Chef. Thank you. I think we understood your secret now. How many
Thank you, Chef.
Let me check next time, like in your demonstration.
Thank you, Chef. Thank you.
There's a question for Chef Kasi. Yeah? There's a question for Chef Kasi. See, now the trend is today in the automobile or wherever it is, are touch-free, no touch points. This is a COVID trend, as well as the trend was generally towards automobile, like artificial intelligence in cooking. In automobile, now is very popular. They're using billions of dollars in research and all those things. Artificial intelligence and the internet in the field of cooking. Can you give some kind of information? That is what there is a question from a student, Anand Jiva.
So, artificial intelligence in cooking.
Yes. There is robots cooking. And there are food. I saw when I went to Singapore. You press your buttons, your food packet comes out like automatic robots. Like.
So, artificial intelligence in cooking. Things like combi ovens are all pre-planned, and you are programming your recipe on it, and then it takes and does the job what is actually wanted. But artificial intelligence is something like forecasting, seeing the demand, seeing the requirement, or which are inclined towards the public need, forecasting that and then dishing out. Is what is called artificial cooking. You're sensing. It's more of proactiveness. So the combi ovens, the combi oven job is which has already been programmed inside, and then it comes out, as per the program. But then here, this is something like where one will have to really know the sequence, the frequencies, and then the demands, the rises and the requirements, and then giving you a based calculation, and then getting into the production is called artificial cooking.
Thank you, Chef. Thank you. I think now I think we are coming into the final speaker. Audio. Thank you, Chef. Thank you. And artificial intelligence in cooking is going to be the in thing, and we can be more creative. We can create robots. We can create vending machines. We can create a lot of things where we can dispense food in time and hygienically without any human touch points, like with the COVID pandemic. Think of young chefs have to think of something different this way. I think it's something which is interesting as well, and it is going to be the future as well. And now we are going to an important speaker, Chef Umashankar Dhanapal. He's a culinary artist. He has a culinary carving institute. I'm just giving information about this special chef who is the first medal winner in the Culinary Olympics 2012-2016. And his son also has won the culinary medal, which is very, very important. Like for India, they represent the country on behalf of SICA. They have gone to Germany They have competed in the International Culinary Challenge, which is happens once in Culinary Olympics. It happens once in 4 years, which is very, very important. To win a medal, it's a big prestige for the individual as well as for the country. And these two guys, father and son, have proved made us feel proud. And they have won medals in 2012 as well as in 2016. And he has 20 years of experience. He is a chef trainer as well, and he was there working with us and KFC and all those things under them. He was there working for them, and now he's on his own now, and he does food styling. He's having food. He has food photography. He does on his own, and his son is an young chef who's literally coming up in a much better way, and he's becoming much better professional. I'm able to see his YouTube videos on a lot of recipe shoots and all those things. And Chef Umashankar is going to talk about food styling. Okay, I can go ahead and start.
Respected board, the panelists, chefs and the budding chefs, it's indeed great pleasure to be here and to share whatever I know about the topic. I think Chef Trilok has covered most of the points about the food photography, but still to sum up food photography and styling, it is like husband and wife. Food photography and food styling is a good couple, and it always goes hand in hand, and only then the output comes out well. And similarly, in a family, only when a husband and wife have a better understanding, the family goes on well. And the same is the case here in this field of food photography and food styling. Now, I would like to show you some of the photographs which are styled by me and photographed by some of the leading food photographers in the city. And also would like to show a couple of photographs of mine, which I have personally styled and done. Photograph of a rasgulla. It is all a commercial shoot done for different clients. And here is a rasgulla which is by Mr. Raja Ponsing, which is a veteran in the industry and a very famous photographer in the city. And again, here is a pasta which is shot for a restaurant. Again, it is done by the same photographer, Mr. Raja Ponsing. And this is something which we couldn't find on the internet. When we searched on the Google show us some interesting photograph of a very famous breakfast item, vadagari. We couldn't find anything. And then in one of the food photography workshop, Mr. Prasanna Venkatesh, who is a celebrity photographer and photo mentor for Nikon and Kodak's brands, we collectively did a photography workshop, and we did this. Here is the simple fried rice, which is shot by Prasanna Venkatesh again during the workshop. This photograph is styled and shot by me with the very simple camera with a very minimal styling. This is again one more shot which is styled and photographed by me at home without much equipment. And again, here is the photograph, which is again done by myself, cooked by my son. And so these photographs actually should give you an idea about food styling. Now, let us understand what is food styling. This particular field wasn't very popular in 90s or 80s. But now in this era, when the expansion of the packaged food business started, and when marketing as a segment flourished, this particular position also gained its popularity and, of course, a great demand in the industry. Now, what is food styling? Now, imagine a situation when a model, I mean a fashion model, is photographed without any makeup or without any kind of costumes which are meant to promote. How many of us would really be interested in looking at those photographs that are marketed? Definitely not. Similarly, the foods that are shot without styling will look very natural, but definitely not very appetizing. But the whole idea of shooting a photograph, I mean a commercial photograph, is to sell that particular product. That is the ultimate intention of commercially taking a photograph of a particular product. When I say product, here it is the food. Now, for your satisfaction, you can take photographs of your food in any angle, in any way you style. But when it comes to a commercial aspect, food styling is very, very, very important, which is nothing but presenting your food most beautiful to the camera. Very simple. I repeat it once again. It's the process of presenting your food to the camera, which in turn is for the viewer's eyes. So is that all simple? Definitely not. And I think Chef Sitaram knows, because I have seen a lot of his photographs which is styled by him. And many chefs who styled photographs will know how much difficult it is, how painful it is. But it doesn't mean that it is very challenging. Of course, if you know how to style a particular food, then I'm sure you will definitely be able to make it. Now, when I have explained you how simple it is, it also requires a lot more understanding of a photograph. It's not only about food styling that you must know. As a food stylist, you must also know about how light reacts. Lighting is all about your photograph, and hence you must know how lighting works, how your camera works, how shutter speed, aperture, and ISO works together to bring out the best out of the camera. Now, if you do not have that understanding, whatever the best styling that you do, it may not complement the understanding of the photographer, and the end result is not going to be the best. And hence, it is always important for a food stylist to also have a better understanding of the techniques of the camera, which is the machine, and also how lighting works. With this, the food photography or the food styling becomes very simple. But now, what is that you should know? Why am I talking to you? Gone are the days where people study from IHM and they only confined to the professional kitchen, work for 18 hours together, and they don't even come out of the kitchen and talk to the guests. But today, the chefs have different faces. Today, the chef is acting as a brand ambassador of many brands of the hotel, and they are the faces of the brands today. Similarly, chefs have been always challenged. They don't talk enough to the guests. They don't come out. They are not great orator. There are many people who have broken that myth, and in fact, there were many general managers who moved away from the kitchen, and the chefs have reached every nook and corner which were actually challenged for the chefs, and they are not meant to do. Similarly, as a budding chef, my point here is, look at food photography and styling as a profession. If you have a really inborn talent to see everything beautifully, aesthetically, and frame it. And whenever you have this habit of taking photograph, in fact, Chef Trilog was mentioning about one of his students whom he has always seen with a camera. So that's definitely a good quality for you to become a good photographer. And if you have the ability to view every scene differently, if you have the ability to handle a camera, then definitely there is a big potential and possibilities for you to become a food stylist and a food photographer. Now, to become a food photographer, does it really need a camera? Please stay tuned. I will also let you know, is it required or not required. Now, before we move on to the next subject, let me make it very simple once again. Food styling is nothing. It is presenting the food to the camera. Now, as a food stylist, you must know about each and every food when you are styling, about the food, about the characteristics of the food, about the color of the food, the garnish of the food, and the cutleries that complement the food. For example, if you look at, there is a reason why I have kept pasta in my screen. Now, across the world, I'm sure you know the fork comes on the left. But here in the picture, if you look at, the fork is on the right. And this is a very basic detail that any food stylist must have. So when you do table layout, the fork must always be on the right when there is a spaghetti in the menu. So these are the small details that one should know to become a food stylist. And of course, you must have a very thorough understanding of your regional or Western foods and the garnishes and the accompaniments that can complement the main or a hero dish, we call it as. So this is what you know. You must know about the garnishes, the accompaniments, the cutleries that go well with, or the crockeries that go well with the food. If you know this, if you have interest to learn about it, yes, of course, you can become a food stylist. But why should you become a food stylist? That's the next question. Could you please move on to the next screen, please, Mr. Edward? Now, importance of food styling, of course. Now look at the burger over here. And one key note here, this is not the burger that you will receive when you go and order in any QSR, but still all the digital menu panel will have this burger for you to choose and order. And that's the importance of food styling. And I hope everybody accepts and agrees this point. Now, if I shoot a photograph of what you actually get in a QSR and put it on the DMV, I don't think people will buy it. Now, especially when you learn menu engineering in your college subject, you will understand there is something called the stars, flowcharts, puzzles. Now let us look at these stars. The star dishes have always been the dishes that has picture in the menu card. It is not just by default, it is by purpose. A smart chef will always have a dish that is going to be a star for their casting. Will always be for a photograph of a menu will always be there in the menu to choose the guest. As soon as they open up their menu card, they get tempted by looking at the image and they immediately order. And in most cases, such dishes are the star dishes if you go through their menu engineering. Now, that's the importance of food styling. So, the second, one more key important point here is the packaged food industry. The packaged food industry is the scope for the food styling. Now, if you look at the world food business, as far as the packaged food business is concerned, it is expected to go beyond $3 trillion. And in India alone, it's about roughly 700 billion US dollar. And this is going to emerge. I think Chef Sitaram was also talking about in the initial stage about catering to the different segment, and catering fresh food always becomes a challenge. And that is also a reason why I possibly see food styling and food photography to emerge as one of the known and popular profession amongst the chefs. So packaged food industry, retail food industry, or home service of the retail food, individual restaurants, trucks, all these business are going to be marketed only through their food, which is their core product. And definitely any investor, any entrepreneur would not mind investing more money to photograph their food beautifully, appetizingly, so that their food business goes well. So that's about the scope of the food styling. And before I do conclude about my speech, I did mention about the camera. Now, to start your photography, it is definitely not required to have a DSLR camera, say full frame sensor or crop sensor. Nothing is required. And if you have a good smartphone, you are ready to become a photographer, you are ready to become a food stylist. And not only that, trust me, you are ready to earn money. I'm sure many of you would have heard about Shutterstock, iStock, Adobe Stock, Crest Stock, Stocky. All these sites are actually stock image sites. And these sites actually expect a lot of contributors to contribute images which will have a lifetime income every time your image is sold on their site, and you will get close to 40% of their revenue. So, and for this, you don't really need a DSLR camera. All you need is, number one, you must naturally be able to see food differently and, of course, beautifully. You must also have a basic sense of presenting the food. It could be garnishing skills, it could be a pairing of cutlery, crockery with the required food, or it could be accompaniments and garnishes of a particular food. With this knowledge, and if you have a good smartphone with a good camera quality, you are in fact ready to earn money on these sites. And I am not mentioning it here as your prime source of income, but I have seen a lot of my friends making a big money out of it as a secondary income, and the secondary income goes approximately $1,000 per month. So this can happen with your smartphone, and if you follow their conditions and shoot your photographs or the videographs and send it to them. The biggest advantage here is every region has got a very specific style of food, color of food, taste of food, which may not always be available on the net. For example, I mentioned about Vadagari. So Vadagari is not available much on the internet, and not many brands. So Raj Mohan was talking about some of the entrepreneurs. Now, I'm a budding entrepreneur, but I really wanted to go for a good Vadagari photograph. But there is nothing available on the net, be it stock or be it Google, it is not. So taking such photographs and uploading it on the stock image sites or the agency sites, we call it as, and that will definitely fetch you good sales, and that will definitely be a good source of secondary income. So if in case you have any more doubts on food styling or food photography or which camera or which strobe light to be chosen, please do reach me out. I would be more than happy to help you. And that's about it. Thank you very much for the opportunity, chefs.
Thank you, Chef Umashankar, and it was very useful and very informative, and a lot of technical details and your experience you have shared with us. And as you rightly said, food photography and food styling is husband and wife combination. Where I think to all the participants, I should tell Umashankar is a multi-talented chef, where he can do a good photography. He is one of the best carvers. He's having a carving institute where he trains a lot of people, and then he's a professional chef as well. And he's training his junior, his son, who is coming into this profession in a big way, and he's going to become a celebrity chef for whatever he is. We wish you good luck, all the best.
Thank you.
There's a question for Chef Akshay. There's a from Srivatsa. There's a question for you. Is there any platform in India to become a well-trained teppanyaki chef?
Well, at least I am not aware of anything, but I think all these 5-star hotels do have specialized teppanyaki kitchens. So you probably need to go and work under a very good chef and learn that art. But otherwise, you'll probably have to go to Japan and do that.
I understand. Okay. Chef Kasi is raising his ass. Any places where we can learn, Chef?
Yeah, I saw this question addressed to me also privately in the private chat. I also replied to him. The thing here is, like, you can probably drop a mail to the Japanese Chamber of Commerce and seek assistance to get this training done through them. 1, 2, you should seek into a restaurant where, into a Japanese restaurant where it's driven by Japanese national. We have got 2 in Bangalore.
Okay.
So if he reaches to this restaurant, probably he can get into an internship and get himself trained and learned.
Okay,
Oberoi Mumbai also has it.
Oberoi Mumbai. But again, to get yourself trained, I think you need to go through a proper channel, and you should try to reach that thing like that. Opportunity for young chefs is a topic was today because of the International Chefs Day. Sika has contributed this entire event for this International Youth Day 2020, and I think it was very useful, very informative. And any participants has any questions like they can write it to Sika, and Sika website is there. Participant will take all the questions and try to answer it through the right professional chefs like that. And I request now Chef Damu to conclude this entire event.
Thank you so much, Sita. It was a wonderful session, and all the experts, the great chefs, really explained very well about the field, actually, the photography, food styling, and then concept of development, as well as celebrity chefs, and then food truck. All this, and actually, the definition was too good. Actually, it was very informative. I guess all the children would have been taken all this information, and see that they are going to utilize this whenever it comes across them. And really, it's a great opportunity for the children and also the people who are listening to this. It's a great experience even for me also, because certain things quite new. So really, it is a learning experience for everyone. Similar things should be continued by the Sika again. Some more information to be shared to the students of some other topic, and definitely it will be wonderful to learn. As I told you, the willing to learn must be there. This is there definitely, and we are all really happy with this. And thank you for the opportunity given by every one of you. And I wish all the people all the best for you. All the children have a great time, great life, and great career. All the panelists, thank you so much for taking your time and be with us. Thank you. Stay blessed, all of you.
Thank you. And Chef, I would like to tell you that the next week after, we might have another webinar, Chef Means Business Entrepreneur. So this is a topic which we want to touch on, and we would like to bring in some more chefs, Sika chefs, into this entire discussions, and that will be handled by Synergy. Brijesh Edward is the head of this entire event company.
Yeah, we must thank to Brijesh Edward also and Synergy team for wonderfully organized the webinar.
Okay, I think we sincerely thank Brijesh Edward and his team who has contributed a lot. Within a short notice, within 3 days, we were able to contribute and try to bring it to the Young Chefs platform. And on behalf of, we will celebrate this Young Chef Day every year. And Sika is committed to enlighten and to train and to motivate, to mentor a lot of young chefs, which is very, very important and going to be the future. There's a big demand. After COVID, definitely we are all going to bounce back, and there's a big opportunity, as Chef Akshay rightly said. They can die out of COVID, but they cannot die out of food, without food. So scope for young chefs are very much is there. So much of avenues are there, and I think now I would like to lastly thank Mr. Parthiban, who was working tirelessly last 3 days for this entire event coordination. And you can send all your questions, any doubts, anything you have. You can interact with Mr. Parthiban, and he will take all the details from the chefs, and he will come back to you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone of you.
Thank you for the opportunity, Chef. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Messages to all the young chefs. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank you for
everyone
the
of you.
opportunity.
Thank you all the panelists who have spared time and who have prepared themselves. Thank you, Chef all.